Dr. Henry Stein and his wife Joan move to a tiny, rural, coastal village so he can take the post as a local physician. The couple doesn't get a warm reception, and at first, the only person remotely pleasant to them is Teddy, a mentally challenged local in need of medical attention and shelter. At night, the couple sees and hears a strange procession on the beach, distant bells, and the crying of seagulls. Henry dismisses it as some old local custom, but as Joan makes connections in town, Teddy and an orphaned young woman named Lucy reluctantly reveal the secret of the village. Every 7 years, undead Templar knights descend from a nearby seaside castle for 7 nights, taking a young woman to be ritually sacrificed every night. Motivated by a sense of duty and self-preservation, Dr. Stein and Joan prevent the skeletal Templars from taking Lucy as a sacrifice. They then prepare to flee or fight against the onslaught of the vengeful dead. Night of the Seagulls, a Spanish horror movie from 1976, is built on the most tenuous connection to rumors of heresy from the early 1300s and H.P. Lovecraft's Shadow over Innsmouth. See Dagon for a much stronger adaptation of that story, also set in Spain. The costuming and makeup for the blind undead Templars is on point, but the film contains too much slow motion, idiotic characters, credulity stretching day for night shots, debatable dubbing, questionable sound effects, a title that sounds like it should be a song by Engelbert Humperdinck, and a few scenes of sleazy exploitation. All that being said, I still enjoy the movie and am drawn to its weird atmosphere. The mood and subtextual suggestions from the film keep me interested much more than the overt action. These blind, undead Templars work as symbols of decrepit, pathetic authority, which could be Franco's fascist regime, an out-of-touch Catholic Church, or any corrupt system of control. Wasted to almost nothing, the villainous blind Templars are relentless, but they can't even enjoy the fruits of their own profane deeds. They just perform them over and over again across the centuries at the behest of whatever unknowable monstrosity they served and worshipped in life, and now in undeath. Not to be outdone, the villagers are cowardly, bullying, and stupid. The town's main industry seems to be beating up on the local handicapped guy, and the citizens universally seem willing to sacrifice their youngest, best, and brightest every 7 years just because they're expected to do so. When the ritual is interrupted by Dr. Stein's fumbling efforts, the locals gather their things and flee quite easily, making me wonder why they hadn't packed up and left before. They got nothing but grief from the blind dead, and the whole village is dilapidated and hopeless. No one is vacationing here, and this place has no future, even if they weren't surrendering their young women to be ritually killed on a regular basis. Things have been this way for so long, they just accept it. The leads are also a mixed bag. Dr. Henry Stein has some admirable sentiments, but pretty much can't see murder right in front of his face, and his few proactive moves are foolish. His wife Joan is correct most of the time, but no one really listens to her, so we have a Cassandra complex. The film contains some gore, nudity, casual misogyny, xenophobia, and mistreatment of someone who is physically and mentally handicapped. The early atmosphere of dread and hostility gives way to a tense, if clumsy siege story reminiscent of George Romero's classic Night of the Living Dead. As far as decades of dread for horror mayhem goes, we have a movie from the 1970s that is loosely based on a novella from the 1930s and historical anecdotes from the early 1300s. Night of the Seagulls is not a great movie, and I'm not arguing that it's a lost classic. It doesn't even have rational continuity with the previous 3 movies in the Blind Dead series. It is a cult movie in more ways than one, but it does capture my imagination and suggests the perils of complacently submitting to corrupt and destructive authorities. But what do you, the audience at home, think? Are you familiar with Night of the Seagulls or other movies in the Blind Dead series? Is it a strange bit of overlooked horror cinema, or is it just low-budget exploitive trash? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my peculiar notions. If you appreciate this channel and want to support it, you know what to do. You can also take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel of another YouTube creator you enjoy, where the algorithm will sacrifice them to the blind